What is the shrinking that happens of the fiscal and the policy space during conflict? And what is really the greatest part of prosperity that is at risk in that process?
As you are aware that in the mid-1980s, we had an ethnic conflict. Before the ethnic conflict, we spent about 0.5% on our military expenditure. This increased to about 3.2% in 1985, and it increased to almost 6%, 5.9% in 1995. Our military spending in 1985 was $188 million. By the end of the war in 2008, this expenditure was $1.5 million. Sri Lanka in the 1980s and in the 1990s, when compared with the other South Asian countries, our social development indexes were better than all of the other countries. And the policy space and the fiscal space which we could have used for development, which we had to spend on the military.
Recommendations that you would have on how we balance the development priorities of all countries in the context of conflict?
In Sri Lanka's case, although we all believe in democracy, we have to be careful of majoritism. One thing which took place in the 1970s was the educational reforms which took place in Sri Lanka, which discriminated certain communities, which led to those communities taking arms. So I think we have to be very careful that although in democracy we believe in majority, that the development has to be inclusive development. It can't be development which is limited to certain section of the people. And I also think that we as a country, and in order to forge ahead, needs to share political power. And if we do not share political power, the politicians will always use that trump card of majoritism and appeal only to certain communities and certain sections. So I think this needs to be addressed, and also to have sustainable development.